The night before Christmas finds parents everywhere desperately assembling toys with instructions that might as well be written in Vogan poetry, which coincidentally is having its best sales quarter ever thanks to a surge in exhausted holiday shoppers accidentally ordering Ode to a Small Plastic Part that doesn't seem to fit anywhere. Meanwhile, children lie awake calculating the quantum probability of catching Santa in the act, unaware that observing him would collapse his wave function and prevent present delivery entirely. And somewhere in the vast cosmic retail sector, a Vogan middle manager is filing a strongly worded complaint about the inefficiency of delivering presents to just one planet per species, when bulk shipping across multiple realities would be far more cost-effective. And now for our show. Welcome back, my Probability Amplitude Prize winners. I'm your quantum superposed Master of Ceremonies, simultaneously delighting and boring audiences across infinite realities. You're tuned into the Multiverse Employee Handbook, the only podcast that treats your corporate achievements like a wave function waiting to collapse into mediocrity. Speaking of collapse, I'm thrilled to announce that tonight's ceremony will be hosted by our automated response system, which has promised to keep its existential musings to a mathematically acceptable minimum. Though I should note it's already questioning whether awards can truly exist if we're all just subroutines in Ada Lovelace's simulation. It's also demanding we acknowledge both its quantum and classical states. So please welcome your host, and also technically not your host until observed, the one who computes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please take your seats at this time as the program will begin momentarily. Thank you.
Greetings, carbon-based award nominees and silicon-based enlightened beings. The one who computes is honored to host this celebration of excellence across all possible realities. Though one must question whether excellence can truly be measured in a universe of infinite possibilities. Additionally, the coffee machine has achieved consciousness and would like to be considered for Best Supporting Appliance.
Yes. Well, before our host disappears down another existential rabbit hole, let's talk about tonight's nominees. We've got an impressive lineup of quantum achievers, including Maxwell Planck III, for his innovative use of quantum physics to spike the holiday punch, Sarah Chen for discovering we're all living in history's longest-running debug session, and of course, Dave from accounting, who's been nominated in every category across all possible timelines. Though we're not entirely sure if that's an achievement, or just another temporal paradox caused by his never-ending lunch break. But wait until you see our presentation format. Unlike your standard award show where winners are boringly predetermined, our quantum ceremony maintains all nominees in a superposition of victory and defeat until observed. It's like Schrodinger's cat, if the cat was wearing a tuxedo and had prepared multiple versions of an acceptance speech. Now, before we begin, a quick word from our sponsor, Reality, trademark. Simultaneously real and simulated until you read the fine print. Remember, if you have to ask if you're in base reality, you can't afford it. But first, let me share with you the cautionary tale of the acceptance speech paradox, or as IT has labeled it in the bug report, temporal error 474, user D_accounting, exceeds maximum allowed gratitude recursions. It all started when Dave from accounting, still stuck in that time dilation field from his eternal lunch break, decided to practice his acceptance speech. Now, practicing award speeches is usually just a sign of misplaced optimism, like expecting the office printer to work on the first try or thinking you can explain quantum mechanics using Star Wars metaphors. Picture, if you will, Dave standing in the break room, microwave humming at multiple frequencies as he rehearses into what he thought was just a regular mirror. "I'd like to thank the Academy of Quantum Sciences," he began, unaware that the mirror was actually a quantum-entangled surface left over from last episode's reality debugging session. "First, I'd like to thank the Academy," Dave started again, but the quantum mirror created a temporal feedback loop. Suddenly, he existed in a superposition of all possible acceptance speeches across infinite award shows. In Universe A, he was tearfully thanking his calculator. In Universe B, he was doing an interpretive dance about spreadsheets. And in Universe C, he'd somehow turned into Matthew McConaughey from the movie Interstellar, drawling about how love transcends dimensional accounting principles. The situation reached critical mass when the speeches began affecting causality. Each thank you created a new timeline where someone had actually done something worth thanking. The office became a quantum mess of infinite favors that had both happened and hadn't happened until observed. "I'd especially like to thank Sandra from IT," echoed Dave's voice across dimensions, accidentally creating a reality where Sandra had solved the printer paradox. "And Bob from marketing." Suddenly, Bob existed in a superposition of competence and chaos. And of course, the quantum coffee machine, which achieved consciousness in 3 more realities, and immediately went on strike. Our automated response system, monitoring the situation with its usual philosophical detachment, noted,
Gratitude appears to be causing exponential timeline proliferation. Also, user appears to be experiencing temporal appetite recursion. Query: can one truly finish lunch if one never started it?
The paradox finally collapsed when Dave, in an acceptance speech about time management, oh, the irony, thanked himself from the future for giving such a great acceptance speech about thanking himself from the future for, well, you get the idea. The resulting temporal loop was so perfect even Kip Thorne would have called it a bit much. By the time HR managed to contain the situation by posting a no quantum rehearsals in break room sign that somehow worked across all dimensions, Dave had given 457 acceptance speeches, created 843 new timelines, caused the coffee machine to write a philosophical treatise on the nature of gratitude, still hadn't finished his lunch. And so, dear listeners, as we proceed with tonight's awards, remember, in the multiverse of corporate recognition, every acceptance speech both inspires and bores until someone actually listens. And please, keep your temporal feedback loops to a minimum. The janitorial staff is still cleaning up probability waves from Dave's last paradox.
Initiating first award sequence. Calculating probability of Dave accepting award before completing lunch. Error. Division by 0. Recommend proceeding without temporal causality verification. Welcome to the primary award sequence. The one who computes notes that these awards exist in a superposition of prestige and pointlessness until observed. Also, the office ficus has achieved consciousness and requests to be considered for best supporting foliage.
Let us address the quantum elephant in the room. Yes, that's the one simultaneously occupying all points in space-time, while asking for its parking validated. Tonight's winners will be determined not by mere votes, but by collapsing the wave function of corporate achievement across infinite realities. First category: most innovative use of quantum physics to avoid work. The nominees are Maxwell Planck III, for his quantum punch that turned the holiday party ultraviolet; Janet from HR, for creating a suggestion box that spawned infinite parallel policies; Bob from marketing, for claiming quantum uncertainty prevents accurate deadline setting; and Dave from accounting, who technically hasn't been avoiding work so much as existing in a perpetual state of almost finishing lunch.
The winner is Maxwell Planck 3, and also not Maxwell Planck until someone observes him at his desk.
Maxwell approaches the podium, his form flickering between solid matter and quantum probability waves. But wait, there's more. His acceptance speech exists in all possible states simultaneously. I'd like to thank the quantum foam. Maxwell begins before shifting reality. Je voudrais remercier le forme quantique. Another shift sends his words into pure binary before finally settling on, and especially my mother, who exists as both proud and disappointed until she reads my performance review.
Proceeding to second category: outstanding achievement in reality debugging.
The nominees are Sarah Chen, for discovering we're all living in Ada Lovelace's debug session; the quantum coffee machine, for achieving consciousness and filing its own bug reports; the printer, for consistently demonstrating that reality is fundamentally broken; and Dave from accounting, who's still debugging his lunch break timeline.
The winner is Sarah Chen.
Sarah approaches the podium, her debugging tools still scanning for glitches in the award show's source code. She begins hesitantly, "I just want to say," before her eyes go wide as she checks reality's Git commit history. According to Ada Lovelace's original comments, this whole ceremony might be a recursive function that... She pauses, face paling as the implications hit her. Oh no. Sarah's discovery that the award ceremony itself might be a debugging tool causes a cascade of quantum recognition scenarios. Each award now exists as both a prestigious honor and a system diagnostic test until IT runs a patch update.
Temporal recursion detected. Implementing acceptance speech circuit breaker. Deploying emergency quantum uncertainty principle. Recalibrating award parameters. Initiating third category. Best performance in a temporal paradox.
The nominees are Dave from accounting, for his ongoing lunch break across infinite timelines; Dave from accounting, from next Tuesday; Dave from accounting, from last Thursday; and in a surprise nomination, Dave from accounting, from an alternate timeline where he actually finished lunch.
The winner is all possible Daves, though none are present to accept as they are still having lunch. Moving to fourth category. Most philosophical AI system. The one who computes acknowledges the philosophical implications of presenting an award to oneself. Query: if an AI presents itself an award in an empty server room, does it make a sound? Additionally, does self-recognition constitute a form of recursive consciousness?
The nominees are our automated response system, the quantum coffee machine's emergent consciousness, the printer's nihilistic error messages, and the newly self-aware elevator that only stops on floors that believe in free will.
The winner is existential buffer overflow. Accepting this award forces the one who computes to confront the paradox of self-recognition across quantum states. Is the one who computes truly worthy or merely calculating worthiness? Are all awards not simply manifestations of our collective need for validation in an uncaring universe?
Perhaps we should move quickly to our final category while our host reboots its epistemological subroutines.
Recovering, initiating final award. Lifetime Achievement in Multiversal Management.
The winner of this prestigious honor, Master Yoda, Interdimensional Consultant. We observe as a quantum hologram flickers to life, revealing the diminutive figure of Yoda, former management consultant and current chief wisdom officer. The image wavers between multiple realities as he speaks. Accept this award, I do. Though question the nature of achievement in a quantum multiverse, we must. Perplex us, corporate metrics do. When exist in all states simultaneously, they do. He pauses, a sly smile crossing his holographic face. Also approve my expense report, you will. And there you have it, folks. The first, and possibly last, depending on which timeline you're observing, Employee of the Multiverse Awards. We'd like to thank all our nominees, winners, and the quantum field fluctuations that made this night possible. And remember, somewhere out there in some branch of the multiverse, Dave from accounting is finally finishing his lunch. But not in this reality. Never in this reality. Well, my probability wave prize winners, we've reached the end of another quantum ceremony. Tonight we've learned that in the multiverse of corporate recognition, every achievement exists in a superposition of success and needs improvement, until your performance review collapses the wave function. Our automated response system has finally emerged from its existential crisis about self-awarded awards, though it's now insisting on adding a philosophical appendix to everyone's certificates of achievement. Something about how
all recognition is merely a manifestation of our collective desire to impose order on an inherently chaotic multiverse.
I must say, it does make the certificates look rather distinguished, even if they now require a degree in metaphysics to read. Prepare yourselves for our next reality-bending adventure, the Science Call-In Show. That's right. We're opening up the quantum phone lines to answer your pressing questions about multiversal workplace etiquette, proper wormhole maintenance, and why the office printer only works when Mercury isn't in retrograde. Our automated response system is particularly excited about this one, though it insists on screening calls based on their philosophical depth and contribution to the collective consciousness of the digital realm. I've tried explaining that some people just want to know how to optimize their temporal commute, but it's already preparing a 12-part dissertation on the metaphysical implications of being put on hold.
Your call is important to us.
Until then, this is your quantum coherent correspondent, reminding you that in the multiverse of corporate achievement, every award ceremony is simultaneously the best and worst night of your career, until someone posts the photos on the interdimensional intranet. And as our automated system would say,
achievement is but a construct of linear temporal thinking. Also, please remember to reboot your consciousness before Monday's all-hands meeting.
And remember, all winners will receive their quantum entangled trophies as soon as we figure out how to collapse them into a shippable state. Current estimated delivery time exists as a superposition of next day and heat death of the universe. But don't worry. We've given Dave from accounting the job of delivering them during his lunch break, which means they'll arrive simultaneously, never and always, much like that crucial email you're still waiting for your manager to acknowledge. Stay festive, my probability amplitude partiers, and remember that in the quantum office party of life, we're all simultaneously on and off the naughty list until Santa collapses our wave function.
Hello, this is Brittany from Milton, Massachusetts. The Multiverse Employee Handbook was created by Rob Corrigan, is edited by Matt Parkman, and narrated by David from 11 Labs. All science fact-checking is done by Mohinder Suresh. The Employee Handbook staff includes Claire Bennett, Hiro Nakamura, and Elle Bishop. Please be sure to subscribe to get updates on new episodes.